Hi guys, we have 32 students and they were weighed, their masses were compiled and they were written up over here in random order. So their mass was taken, we got their weights there in kilograms. Now there are 32 students, as I said earlier, and we're going to analyze, sort, simplify and organize the data. One of the best ways to do that is to do it in a grouped frequency distribution table. Now you guys have seen this before, you probably know most of it, how it works, but I'm going to go through a couple of things just to make some new distinctions for you. But first of all, let's take a look at what we got here in terms of the highest and the lowest score. Why do we do a grouped frequency distribution table? Well, we do it because the range and extent between the highest and the lowest score and the number of scores is so high that we cannot afford to do them individually, so we're going to do them in groups. So we're going to cluster them together and we're going to call them classes. So here they are, and the classes are 51 to 55, so all the weights that fill in from there would come into here. 56 to 60, 61 to 65, and in ascending order all the way to 81 to 85 kilograms. Now the lowest score happens to be 52 right over there, and that fits snugly in the first class, which happens to be 51. That's how we chose it. And the highest score, 82, fits very snugly between 81 and 85. So it fits in there. All the classes are going to get tallied up and put into this table. Now, before we do that, we have to come up with the class center. Why do we do that? Because we need something to demarcate and indicate a symbol that represents this whole class. So rather than writing those 5 scores, what we do is we write 1 that represents it all. And that 1 is the center, the middle between 51 and 55. How do we get it? Many of you already know how to do it, but I'll just recap really quickly. 51 plus 55 added together, we get what? We get 106. Divided by 2 is 53. So for example, the next one, 56 plus 60, we add them together, that's 116, divided by 2 gives you 58. The next one, 61 plus 65, add them together, that gives you a grand total of 126, halve it, 63. So all you do is take the two ends, add them together, divided by 2. So that's how we get the class center, so that's there now. So all we have to do now is come up with a tally, and then from the tally we'll determine the frequency. So we can come up with what we're really after for this part of the question, part A, is what is the modal class? In other words, which one of these classes is the most common, most popular for the most masses in there from these 32 students? So to find out, let's begin by doing a tally. So the first place to begin is the first one right at the top, which happens to be 71. So let's mark that off and start putting the strokes in. So there's our 71. And where does that 71 go? Well, the 71 goes into the group right over here. Let's put a tally mark. There's our first stroke. The next one is 52. Let's mark that off right there. Which class is 52? 52 is right in here. You guys know how to do these. And we have 66 is the next one. Which class is that? 66 happens to fall right in there. We have 64 right there. Where does the 64 fall? Right in there. Let's mark that out. Right there. 82 is a pretty big score. That's a pretty big weight. So right here. 82, let's mark it off. We have 78, and that fits very snugly right in there. Let's mark it off too. 61 is right over here. There's a 61. Let's go 72. 72 goes right over in here. Mark it off. 73 goes in here also. Mark it off. 68 is right in here. So mark it off. Right down the track. We have a 70 and 71. Right there. We have 62. 62. Where's that 62? That happens to be right in here. 62. So let's mark it off. Right there. Next one is a bigger. We're talking 77. 77 is right there. So we're going to straight there. We have 56. 56 comes up right here. Let's straight in that class. 65. 65 comes up right over in here. So we're down to pretty popular. We have 68. 68 fits right there. Now we're going to take popular. 61 to the next one. Falls right in there. Get post. And 74 right there. Comes up right here. We have 4 in that class. 57 fits right about here. 57 is the second right here. 57. Mark it out. 71 fits right about in here. 71. Have a get post. Let's mark off another 71. So 71 again is here. Let's mark off 58. Where's that 58? That fits in right in here. Mark off there. So let's try this one, which is 63. That fits right there. That's going to be more popular. We have 60. That fits right here. And 68. 68 is in here. Get post now. And 70. That fits in right over. Yep. That one there. We have 68. That fits in right over here again. Another one there. 69. That one fits in right here again. Another one there. 68 again. Right there. Let's put it over here. We have 65. 65 over there. 65 fits right in here. Another one goes there. 68 again. What a popular weight that one is. 68. Let's mark it off. Another gatepost. And finally, we have 62, the last one that falls in the class right over here. 62 falls right in there. So we put a gatepost right over there. So now all we have to do is tally up the tallies and write up the frequency. So let's see how many we have and which one will be the modal class. Let's take a closer look. The first one here, we have a 1. 1 comes across. We have 4 coming across here. We have a 5 and a 3, which is 8. We have a 5 and a 5, which is 10. We have a 5 and a 1, which is 6. And a 2. And a 1. Let's write down that 1 right there. Okay, there's our frequencies. All we have to do now is add up, sum those frequencies, and see if it matches the number of students that were actually weighed. And the number of students, remember, were 32. So we should get 32 here if we've done it all correctly. So what do we have? 4 and 8 is 12, 13, 23, 6, 2, 32. Beautiful. 32. That matches. So that matches. That means we've made no errors. So now we can check and find the modal class, which means the most popular, most common number of weights in that particular group. And the group that has the highest frequency comes up right over here with 10. And if we go across, the modal class looks like it's 66 to 70. So 66 to 70 is our modal class. I'll just mark it off over there.